Most people think a BRRRR deal lives or dies on the purchase price. It does not. A deal can look amazing on day one and still trap your cash, crush your monthly payment, and turn into a headache by refinance day. So here is the real question that decides everything. What numbers must work before you buy, not after you hope? And one of those numbers is the silent deal killer most beginners miss. Number 1. Know what BRRRR really means. BRRRR stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. You buy a property that needs work. You fix it, you rent it out, then you refinance based on the new value and try to pull your money back out. Then you do it again. That sounds simple, but beginners often think BRRRR means any cheap house with paint and a tenant. It does not. A BRRRR deal only works when the numbers line up across all 5 steps. Example, you buy a tired property for $120,000, spend $30,000 fixing it, rent it for $1,800, and it appraises for $210,000. That could work. But if the appraisal comes in low or the rent comes in weak, the whole plan changes. Number 2, start with ARV, not your emotions. ARV means after repair value. That is what the property might be worth after the rehab is done. This number matters because your refinance is often based on that future value. Beginners often fall in love with the house first and do the math later. That is backwards. You start by asking, what will this property really sell for after it looks clean, safe, and rental ready? Example, if renovated homes nearby are selling for $220,000, then maybe your ARV is close to that. But if you guess $260,000 just because you were hopeful, you are building your whole deal on fantasy. Number 3, use a maximum offer formula. A popular shortcut is the 70% rule. Many investors use it as a fast filter. It means you do not want to pay more than about 70% of the ARV minus repair costs. It is not magic. It's just a rough screen to help you avoid overpaying. For example, if ARV is $200,000 and repairs are $40,000, then 70% of ARV equals $140,000. Subtract $40,000 in rehab, and your rough max purchase price equals $100,000. Now here's the twist. That rule is only a shortcut. A BRRRR rental still needs to cash flow after the refinance, so never stop at the shortcut. Number 4, know your all-in cost. Your all-in cost means everything you put into the deal, not just the purchase price, not just the rehab, everything. That includes purchase price, closing costs, lender fees, insurance, taxes during the rehab, utilities, trash out, permits, labor, materials, holding costs, and a reserve for surprises. For example, a house bought for $100,000 with $25,000 in rehab can easily become $132,000 or $136,000 all in after closing costs, carrying costs, and small surprises. That difference matters because the refinance has to cover that real number, not the pretty number in your head. Number 5, build in a rehab buffer. New investors almost always underestimate rehab. A small leak becomes mold. Old flooring hides subfloor damage. A simple bathroom turns into plumbing work. So add a cushion. Many investors add 10 to 15% on top of the contractor estimate just to stay realistic. For example, if rehab is quoted at $30,000, your safe planning number may be $33,000 to $34,500. This matters because one bad rehab budget can wipe out your cash-out refinance plan before the tenant even moves in.
Number 6, run the refinance before you buy. This is where many beginners get blindsided. They buy first and ask refinance questions later. Bad move. Ask this before closing. If the property appraises at my target value, how much money can I pull out at the lender's loan-to-value limit? Example, suppose the new appraisal is $200,000. If the lender will refinance at 75% loan-to-value, the new loan might be $150,000. If your all-in cost was $165,000, great. You may pull most of your money back out. But if your all-in cost was $165,000, some of your cash stays trapped in the deal. That is not always bad, but you must know it going in. Number 7. Stress test the mortgage payment. Rates matter a lot. Freddie Mac reported the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate at 6.11% on March 12, 2026. That means deals that looked fine in a cheaper rate environment may feel tighter today. So do not just estimate a payment. Stress test it. Example: run the refinance payment at one rate you hope for, then again at a slightly worse rate. If the deal only works at the perfect rate, the deal is fragile, and fragile deals break fast. Number 8. Rent must support the whole plan. A property is not a BRRRR winner because it appraised well. It is a winner because the rent supports the new payment and still leaves room for profit. Check actual market rent, not wishful rent. Compare similar units in the same area. HUD publishes fair market rent data each year, and while that is not the same as your exact market rent, it can be a useful reality check when you are testing an area. Example: if you think rent is $2,100, but the area really supports $1,750, that gap can destroy your monthly cash flow.
Number 9. Calculate true cash flow, not fake cash flow. Real cash flow is not rent minus mortgage. That is beginner math. Real cash flow means rent minus mortgage, taxes, insurance, vacancy, repairs, maintenance, property management if you use it, and a reserve for capital expenses like roof or HVAC. Example: rent equals $1,900. Mortgage equals $1,150. Taxes and insurance equal $300. Vacancy reserve equals $95. Repairs and maintenance equal $150. Management equals $190. Now your cash flow is not $750. It is only $15. Big difference. That is why so many deals look rich on paper and feel poor in real life. Number 10. Know your cash left in deal. This is the number that tells you how efficient the BRRRR really is. Take your total cash invested, subtract the cash you get back from the refinance. What is left is your cash left in the deal. Example: you put in $50,000. After refinance, you get $38,000 back. That means $12,000 is still in the deal. Now ask, am I happy owning this rental long-term with $12,000 still tied up? If the answer is yes, and the monthly cash flow is good, that may still be a strong deal. Number 11. Watch the market because margins move. Even strong operators cannot ignore the market. ATTOM reported that the typical home flip in 2024 generated a gross profit of $72,000 with a 29.6% return based on acquisition cost, while later 2025 data showed margins weakening. That is a reminder that spreads can shrink and sloppy deals get punished first. For beginners, that means this: do not count on a hot market to save a mediocre deal. Buy with enough margin that the deal still makes sense if the appraisal is softer, the rate is higher, or the rehab runs longer. Number 12. The best BRRRR deal is boring. This might surprise you, but the best BRRRR deal is often not flashy. It is not the prettiest house. It is not the one with the giant dream value. It is the one where the numbers are calm, realistic, and repeatable. You want a deal where the buy price is safe, the rehab is manageable, the rent is proven, the refinance is likely, and the cash flow works even after real expenses. That is how investors last. If you remember only one thing, remember this: a BRRRR deal does not work because the house is cheap. It works because the buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and long-term cash flow all support each other. So before you chase the next property, ask yourself this: which number do you think beginners mess up the most? ARV, rehab, rent, or refinance?